my name is Aksik, aka Annika. Welcome to my channel. Happy to see you here. And today, as per a viewer request, we're going to do a little flip through of this book called Winged Beauty, a very fairy coloring book. I do not think that book is available from like regular big channels. I think you have to go to the Faerie magazine website. It's faeriemag.com, and I think you would be able to get it from there. Like, I haven't really checked if they are still in stock, but that is how I got it. I don't think they sell it on Amazon. The book is, let me pull out, things are falling, take it easy. The book is 9 to 8 inches, and in centimeters, let me tell you now, about 23 to 20 and a half centimeters. So it's not a tiny book, but it's kind of a smallish. I find the format very nice. It's manageable. Then again, I am a fan of a more compact book, especially if you're in a mood for a bit of a, kind of easy win type of a situation. The paper in the book is fairly smooth, but does have a nice kind of a tooth to it, although, it is on a smooth side. It's white. It's relatively, it doesn't feel super thick. It feels decent, good quality paper, but it doesn't feel like cardstocky. But never mind about that. This book takes water exceptionally well. You can use watercolor pretty much in super heavy, the super heavy hand, nothing will go through. Of course, one thing that probably, does tend to go through if you go heavy-handed on a water-based marker. I can test that with you kind of at the end, will the water-based marker just applied onto the paper go through? That can happen. But I'm pretty sure the likes of Pitt pens possibly, won't go through. Okay, so let's get going with the flip through. It has, I'm not sure if it was 4 or 5 artists. It's a compilation book. I can see there's 5 artists here, and you have information about those artists at the back. And it starts with a couple of little, kind of miniatures that you can kind of practice with or use possibly for kind of a testing your media. And the first artist featured is Renae Taylor, and I like her art very much. That's the only page that I have finished here. This is done with watercolors, and as you can see, pretty heavy application and very minimum pencils on top. There's pencils on skin. You can see, I've done some shading there, but there's very little on, in tiny bits here, in the wings and, the creases of the dress, but it's really very little. And in this book, because I find that artists' line art kind of elegant and flowy, and I think covering it up too much would kind of take away from that. So I haven't really so far kind of contemplating coloring them. This that shows through here, that is not watercolor. This is I had metallic markers that I used in some spots here, metallic acrylic markers that I did not realize at the time will go through pretty much of any paper. They're these ones. If there's no pencil underneath, they're beautiful. They're absolutely stunning and, you know, have a gorgeous glittery shine. But they will go through pretty much anything unless there's pencil or something water resistant. You know, something that provides resist underneath. So, you know, there's little lines here, but those won't be hard to disguise. So yeah, it's beautiful lines. And hers is kind of very elegant, very flowy lines, very feminine. Although, as you can see, there's also one fierce guy here with a wolf. Oh, several of them. So, and you know, once again, I like the artists whose style is very distinctive and whose people look, you know, different. They don't all look very much the same. So I really like that image. It's beautiful. Actually, it might be a gorgeous kind of a spring image, you know, should I feel like it, but I don't know. I have so many things I have to finish in May that I probably won't get to it, but it's beautiful. And another one that is absolutely stunning. Just love it. Next artist is Cory Godbey, and this is probably my favorite of all of the artists. Although it is a very heavy grayscale, I still like that artist the most here. I am well aware that, you know, it's going to be a challenge to actually color them because, you know, there's a lot of gray, but I'm willing to try because it's so beautiful. At the same time, I'm kind of intimidating because, like, what if I spoil them? Because they're really beautiful. They're like on their own. They don't need to be like, they don't ask for color even. They're just independent artworks in their own right and beautiful exactly as they are. So maybe they can even be done, you know, with a very minimal type of added color because they just stand on their own so well and they are beautiful. Fantastic scenes. Oh. Young knight meeting a dragon. It's just beautiful. Then there's probably the best known of the authors here, Stephanie Law. Also has some pages here. And, you know, if you've seen her other coloring books, her pages are, you know, super busy, super complicated, and her line is fairly flowy and distinctive. And you can tell that it's that those aren't really drawn to be colored, you know. It's something that has been an artwork and then transferred into line art. Therefore, these always look a bit clumsy and hard to color for me. But in this book, I think it's a bit more minimalist, or no, can't call it minimalist, but, you know, not as heavy as in some other books, you know, the detailing and, you know, the excess of lines. So I actually like, I think of all her line arts in coloring books, I think I like this book the best. And this one, I kind of messed up the background. I did something here with gouache, and at the time I was not really particularly handy at blending gouache, so it doesn't look great. There's some silver here as well, so I don't know if I'm ever going to go back to that page, but I might just, you know, finish it when the mood takes me. And yeah, there's like, you know, from the distance, like, this is probably hard to tell, you know, what the page is about, but this page particularly I love, you know, the dragon sitting on the tree, the town in the background, moonlight. It could be a gorgeous image, and I love this as a winter image. I keep forgetting about this book, but I really should pull it out, you know, in the winter, because there's a couple of absolutely stunning winter images here. And this seems to be kind of a, like, spring. Yes, it's beautiful, beautiful works. And this is also absolutely gorgeous. The next one is Ruth Sanderson, and absolutely beautiful, kind of very vintage feeling in her case. Line art. Of all the artists in this book, she's actually my least favorite, not because she's in any way worse, but because her style kind of possibly is the least for me. And also kind of the heaviness, you know, there's a lot of kind of black going on. Like I would have preferred, how do you color these? Like this is the butterfly woman. How do you color these wings? What will, there's so much black there, what will go on top of them? So for a coloring book, I, you know, even though I like the vintage feel of it, I would find it really hard to color because of the blackness. But you know, some beautiful, like this image is beautiful, and beautiful composition, very poetic. Little fairy sitting in a mushroom, looking at the moon. A beautiful scene. She's very good at creating those little scenes. And I love this one, so I'm planning to do it. I don't know if this month or next month, but I really want to do the corgi. Of course, you know, mushrooms technically should probably go kind of like autumn pages, but I don't think that's a requirement. So yeah, it's a beautiful book. These two I actually would kind of like to do, you know, one of them in a spring and winter, a winter fairy and the spring fairy, and that couple, and it's a beautiful spread. If I were to remember that and do them. And you know, because of the size, they are so manageable. And this, I think, is supposed to be summer. It looks like it. And I suspect then this must be possibly autumn. It seems to be like 4 seasons. Hope I'm right. So yeah, beautiful artwork. It's just, you know, that black here, you know, how to fight that, or should I just, you know, kind of accept that this is black and put color where I can. So next one and the last one in the book is Charles Vess. And I really, really like one of the favorites in this book also, I'd say, after this author. Oops, okay, I keep messing things up. Let me take that. After this author now, Charles Vess would be my favorite. Really like the faces and the poses and the scenes he's creating. And I like that he seems to be a little bit kind of more laconic with the line, kind of a line, you know, there's no excess of line. At the same time, you know, everything you need to know, you know, movement and kind of brief hints at where the shading would go are there, but the line is not overdone. So he understands kind of a coloring page very well. I am kind of sad that I haven't seen any, you know, like full coloring books from him, because I think they would be awesome. Like this scene here. And then also very interesting composition, quite different, not very typical. This is pretty heavy line art. These are also supposed to be those trees full of little nasty spirits. It's beautiful. So yeah, I love this bird singing and the muse above him. I presume it's a muse. Looks like it. And this is also, of course, beautiful. And at the end, there's, you know, a little bit about the artist, you know, who they are, what they've done. And the last page is mostly about Faerie magazine, which, you know, is the publisher of this little book. So, absolutely beautiful. And totally worth picking up if you are into the subject. So, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely evening or morning or afternoon, whatever the time is in your corner of the world. And bye-bye.